Hello, my name is J Varnell, and this is my final reflection over what I have been already trying to implement in my classes this year, since this is November, regarding gifted and talented. First of all, is flexible grouping. I am trying to make sure that after a pre-assessment on any unit, I try to get a good feel for which students have a already firm mastery of the concepts, and then which students need a little bit more help. And then I use flexible, I either pair or match up people by interest or match up people by those pre-assessments. And I find that when different students of different academic levels can have different interests, so it's nice to pair those together because then they are able to help each other out. The gifted and talented student may bring different thought processes that the non-GT student may not have thought of, that will raise their level, and the non-GT student may break things down into layman's terms and give the GT student a different perspective as well. And I think that's great. The next thing is tiered instruction. This will provide various levels of planned instruction for students. This will benefits everybody in the class, GT and non-GT alike. When you have the tiers of lessons, tier 1 being the easier, up to tier whatever you decide to make it, tier 2, 3, 4, whatever you think the level is. As each student masters each tier, then they will show that they've completed that level and be able to move up. And hopefully what this does is, your GT students will be mastering the levels hypothetically quicker, and your non-GT students will see them mastering them, and hopefully the lessons you've provided give some incentive to try to master them faster, and they'll be able to kind of they'll want, it's almost like not competitive necessarily, but they want to see they want to do what the others are doing. The third thing is questioning, and I always try to make sure that the questions are not yes or no, that the questions are somewhat open-ended, so they don't get, so you can't answer them in one word. I think sometimes the best questions lead to more questioning by the student, so just to make sure that the questions are tough enough and critical enough that the students, at whatever level, but especially for GT kids, that it will promote more conversation about whatever subject that you are working on. Also, kind of just increasing depth and complexity, utilizing the depth and complexity chart while doing lesson planning. This is my third year of teaching, and I've actually dropped down some grade levels, so I'm still trying to figure my way from teaching 11th grade to 8th grade, so I've got some challenges there with my lesson planning. So I find that I'm trying to incorporate those things as I become stronger at lesson planning on the 8th grade level. I want to incorporate more and more of the depth and complexity chart as I go. And finally, I think this is one thing that's always tough for any teacher, because we feel like we have to be in charge. But I think one of the main goals for me is to be, the captain of the ship, but allowing the students to really take ownership of their learning, to allow them, try to give them choice boards as far as what they're trying to do. Try to more Socratic seminars and philosophical chairs and things like that, where they can drive the conversation, the discussion, with me just kind of being a fly on the wall, offering guidance, or if I think they've missed something, you know, as it plays out, or to kind of get them unstuck after if there's too much of a lag. But I find that those kind of things, you know, like I said, with choice boards, that promotes more interest. Choice reading, so they can read whatever they want instead of being just assigned something. Now we'll still do that, but I think it will be beneficial to allow the students to take the helm, so to speak, and be able to explore, I guess. You know, that's one big thing, I believe, for any student, and especially the GT student, is for them to be able to, you know, have exploratory learning where they're kind of going out and finding facts. And anytime somebody asks a question in class, you know, if a unit begets a question, I say go look it up. I say go find it, because I don't want to spoon feed them all their answers. And in the end, they need those research skills, critical thinking skills to be able to find their own answers. Anyway, those are the 5 things I'd like to implement. Again, it is, you know, flexible grouping, tiered instruction, always be asking the right questions, depth and complexity, and then of course just student-driven classroom. Anyway, thank you again. My name is J Varnell, and have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season.